I'm schooling you. Right now I look tore up from the floor up. I come alive in the nighttime. I look nothing like the photo. Nothing.
Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming?
Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's your girl Ashley. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I will be showing you guys how to get my go-to all matte smoky eye. I feel like I haven't done an all matte look in a minute. Anytime I do shadow looks, I always incorporate shimmers or glitter or whatever it is. So I really wanted to create something that was so user-friendly. You can literally use any neutral brown shadow palette that you guys have at home, Too Faced Chocolate Bar, ABH Soft Glam, Bad Habit Arabesque, or even a Morphe palette that has neutral tone browns in it. And trust me when I tell you, there's a lot. So I really wanted to keep this simple. I probably use 3 to 4 shadows max. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Subscribe if you are new, and also don't forget to turn on your post notifications by clicking that bell so that way you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 times a week, every single week. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. The first thing I like to do is prime my skin. I have been loving my Smashbox Primerizer, which I got a new one of because in my last videos, I told you guys that I was running extremely low. So I popped open a new one because I finished the other bottle. Honestly, it's such a great feeling to finish products because it just goes to show that you really love it, because obviously it's gone, you know. I am going to take an extra step and go in with a beauty oil. This is the Kevyn Neo-Elixir. It's essentially a weightless beauty oil. Let me just say, the Ferrous oils and things like that, they're great, but they do feel kind of heavy and greasy on the skin, and I have been loving this because it's extremely lightweight, and when I put it on, it just melts right into the skin. So I'm just pressing it like so, and then really just working it in. Following that, I am going to go in with a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and I'm actually going to use this to prime my eyelids. I know it's a miracle. I'm not doing my brows. I'm not doing my foundation first. I'm doing my eyes first. I've been doing this recently like a lot, and I just like the way it looks at the very end. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my Morphe Miracle Sponge to really just buff out that concealer all over the lid. And I'm also going to take a little bit of it underneath the eyes. For this look today, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Arabesque palette right here by Bad Habit. The first shade I'm going to take is Interlude, which is a beautiful soft brown shade, and I am gonna take it on a Morphe M441. This is a long-haired brush. I absolutely love it because the bristles are really long. So I'm gonna pick up Interlude, and I'm going to first take it right here in the outer portion of my lid, and I'm gonna go in tapping motions like so until I have nothing left on my brush. Once I feel like the product has left my brush, I'm just going to go ahead and rock it into the socket of the crease towards the outer V, and then just brush it inwards ever so slightly. Now, you don't want the majority of the product to sit right up here in the very inner corner. You want the majority of the product to sit right here towards the outer corner. So just go in big old circular motions like so. I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat the same exact step to kind of build up the intensity a little bit. All right, so now that that's done, I'm actually gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna switch over to a Morphe M433. Mine's like, she's a little hurt right now. I definitely need to, you know, take care of her. I need to probably get brush guard. She's a little bit frayed, she's a little bit frazzled, but you know what? We're just gonna keep it going. I'm gonna use the shade right here in the palette. It's called Walt. It's more of a neutral kind of like cool tone brown. And I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that shade, and I'm actually gonna layer it directly over top of that Interlude shade we just applied. So I'm just going to go ahead and pat it right here towards the outer edge, and I'm trying to keep this below the crease. So I'm really just patting her on right here, and I'm just kind of buffing her in. I'm packing the color right here, and then when majority of the product leaves the brush, I'm just going to lightly feather her inwards. Now, you do kind of want to leave the very inner part bare. So now that we have those browns nice and blown out, it's time to really add intensity to the look. So I am going to go in with more of a precise brush. This one is my Morphe M507. Y'all, let me just say, I have become so obsessed with this little miracle brush right here. Literally, it's the perfect brush to kind of pack on color towards the very lower lash line and right here in the outer V. And it's fluffy, so you can also like blend with it and do like precision blending. Oh, unreal. I love it. Love. So I am going to go in with a deeper shade. I'm going to go in with the shade called Melodrama, which is that dark brown shade right there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that color, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it right here towards the base of the lash, like so. and I'm essentially going to build this color up. I don't want to bring it up too high. I really just want to keep her nice and low. And then I'm just going to go ahead and slide my brush back and forth to really just blur out this edge. I'm also going to take a little bit of that brown right here in the socket of my crease, but I'm not bringing it all the way in. I'm really just keeping the shade right here in the very outer corner. Ooh, love, love, love. So at this point, we're nice, we're smoky, we're sultry, we're sexy, but I want to kind of amp it up a little bit, and I want to add a little bit of black. So I'm going to take the shade right here called Leotards on that same Morphe M507 brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the black, and what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm only going to focus it right here towards the outer V, and I'm only going to place it there. I'm not going to drag it in too far, just because that is going to essentially create more of an almond effect, which is exactly what I am going for. So I'm taking the black, placing it right here towards the base of my lash line, and I'm also going to take it into the crease right here on the outer V, and you don't want to blend it inwards. We're only just going to focus her right here to create more of an almond effect. And I'm also going to rock it a little bit into the outer crease, but again, I am keeping it super far out and I'm not blending it too far in. So I'm literally going to stop right there. Then with a Morphe M441, I'm just going to go ahead and take this right here alongside the edge with no product added to really just buff out that black line. We don't want it to sit there all harsh and everything. So if you need to add a little bit more of that neutral tone brown, definitely do so, but don't apply a whole lot. We're essentially just trying to blend the edge a little bit. Going back into the shade called Interlude, I'm going to use a Morphe M514, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and run her right here into the crease a little bit and right above that black, just kind of bringing my transition up a little bit higher. So as you can see, I do have quite a bit of black fallout, which is why I decided to do my eyes before my base. Honestly, anytime I'm working with black, I always make sure to do my eyes first, because just a little bit of black fallout can cause a big mess. Like, honestly, this doesn't even look like a lot, but like, do you see like how messy it could be? Do your eyes first. Save yourself the hassle, save yourself the trouble. So now that I have the majority of the fallout cleaned up underneath my eyes, I'm just gonna go ahead and take some eye cream on a Q-tip, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run this closest to the lash line just to remove any black that's kind of just like sitting right under there, just because when I put on concealer, I don't want that black to kind of interfere with what I'm doing. I'm now just gonna go ahead and move on to foundation, so that way it doesn't look like I just got beat up. I am gonna use my Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I have like 3 shades in front of me. I'm gonna use Golden just because I still am tan from when I went to the beach. Honestly, y'all, I miss my old color. I miss being pale. I'm just gonna go ahead and do some stripes onto my face, down my nose, on the side. This is by far one of my favorite foundations. Honestly, you guys, like, ever since I started using this again, my skin and the way my foundation looks all day is unreal. Like, it literally is. I'm just gonna use a Morphe sponge. This is the beauty sponge to contour, and whoa. I'm just going to use my Morphe sponge to buff and blend it out. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus just to get it a little bit damp, because it did dry up because it's been sitting on my table for a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and pounce this all over. As I was saying, I love the way that this foundation looks on my skin. It looks insanely flawless. Like, honestly, my skin just looks like butter, baby. Really, really does. Like, it's unreal. I'm gonna go ahead and continue just pouncing this all over until I have a really, really nice, even base. I went ahead and zoomed you guys out just so that way you guys could actually see my face. For a second, I'm like, wow, they can only see like this much of me. So I zoomed you guys out so you could see exactly what it is that I'm doing. I have noticed while editing my videos, I look really, really crazy when I do my eyes first and then my foundation and then my eyebrows, but it's just something that you guys are just gonna have to roll with and just trust that it's gonna come together. That's why brows are so important. Can you guys imagine if I did all of this and no brows? Like, do you see what I look like? Like, I look like I got beat up. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, if I could find it. This guy right here, this is in light neutral, and I'm going to just put a little bit right here directly underneath my eyes. This is really just going to brighten my eyes and make me look wide awake. And I'm gonna go ahead and also place a little bit on my forehead and my chin. So what I like to do with my sponge is I like to pounce it directly underneath my eyes like so, and I'm just really concealing right underneath my eyes. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, and then when I get close to this outer corner right here, I'm gonna flip the sponge over. As you can see, it does have more of a sharp edge right here, and I'm gonna take a little bit of the Shape Tape concealer on the back of my hand. So I'm gonna take about that much, and I'm gonna dip the pointy end into the concealer, so about that much, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen this part right here, and I am starting right here as opposed to right here because, as you can see, I want my eyeshadow to connect with my lower lash line. And honestly, that's how I have been cleaning up my eyeshadow these past few weeks, and I love it. Like, I really love it. I promise you this look is gonna come together once I put on some brows, because right now I look crazy. I'm gonna go in with an oldie but a goodie. This is my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm gonna take these two shades right here, this kind of peachy tone and also this banana shade, on my Morphe sponge. I'm just gonna dip my Morphe sponge right into the powder, and this is the powder I am gonna use to set directly underneath my eyes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and look up and use it to completely set that concealer down and in place. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that banana shade and I'm gonna put it on my chin, on my Cupid's bow, around my nose, and also on my forehead. Pretty much all the areas of my face where I highlighted with the concealer. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm looking pretty ghostly right now, but it's all gonna come together once I put on my powder and also my bronzer. So fear not. White. I look like Casper. This is a moment where I'm gonna come back to life. Like, I'm not gonna look as ghostly anymore. I'm gonna go in with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Compact Powder. This one is in the shade 5.5. Y'all, I have re-fallen in love with this. I used to use this way back when, and I recently discovered her in my makeup collection. So we're gonna go in with her, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this on a fluffy Sigma brush. This is my Sigma Large Powder F20, and I'm just gonna go ahead and powder my entire face. And as you can see, my powder is a little bit darker, so it's going to darken me up, and I'm not gonna look as ghostly as I did 2 seconds ago. Do you see how flawless my face is right now? It is flawless. Like, it looks like my skin when I was born. What I love about this powder is that it doesn't feel like I'm adding like an additional layer of foundation. So it's not like a foundation powder. It's more alongside a very fine powder that's really just going to set the makeup in place without it looking heavy or cakey. Oh, I'm actually gonna go in with my all-time favorite bronzer. This is my NARS Laguna bronzer. As you can see, I've hit pan on her. I mean, when it's your favorite, it should look something like this. I'm just gonna go ahead and bronze the face. I'm using my MAC 135 brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all over, and this is really just gonna go ahead and bronze the skin. And fun fact, you don't want to take your bronzer down because it can tend to make you look a little bit muddy. So whenever you bronze, you want to bring it upwards. So one thing I wanna point out is whenever I go in with foundation and powder, I tend to lose the definition in my nose in the process. So I am gonna go in with my NARS Laguna bronzer, and this is a Morphe E27. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that powder, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of it right here where my nose is, and it's gonna kind of pinch my nose, giving it a smaller effect. What I'm gonna do now, guys, is I'm gonna do my brows. Let me just tell you, the entire time I've been filming this, I've just been looking at my brows like, oh my god, like, you look crazy. Like, can you imagine if I went outside like this? Like, no one would speak to me. I'm gonna use the MAC eyebrow styler. This one is in the shade Stud. It is on the dark side, but honestly, I have really been loving this shade with my hair color. Normally, I pick brow pencils that are a little bit too warm or like a little bit too ashy, but I just find that this works for me personally. So I like to take this spoolie and I like to just comb through my eyebrows. So what I like to do with my brows is I like to just draw a line directly underneath, and I like to go in pretty light to start. So as you can see, I drew a light line, and now I'm just going to go ahead and go in with the spoolie and brush out that line. I also filled in the very top of the brow, and now I'm just going to go in with the spoolie and just gently brush it. I notice that whenever I do my brows after my foundation, I don't have to go in with concealer to kind of clean them up. So I'm very careful where I'm placing the product, whereas like when I do them first, I get the brow product everywhere. So I kind of like this method because I use a lot less product and I'm kind of paying attention to where the product is going. I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure towards the tail of the brow because I do like this to be the darkest part. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and comb it out with my spoolie. Honestly, I don't know if I could ever live without a spoolie literally on the opposite end of my brow product. It honestly makes things so much easier. It really just helps blend out the product. As you can see, it's working wonders. All right guys, so brows are done. I'm now gonna work on my very lower lash line, and I'm gonna pick up the shade called Interlude from the Bad Habit palette on a flat definer brush right here by Sigma. And I'm just gonna go ahead and really work this on my lower lash line. I really want my lower lash line to be nice and smoked out, so I'm going to build up a little bit color. I'm gonna build up a little bit of color at a time by just placing the flat definer brush right here and stamping the color on the lash line. Once I have that color stamped on my lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with an additional color called Ballet Slippers, which is a little bit warmer than Interlude on that same brush. And I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat the motions of stamping that color right on the lower lash line. And once I have the color stamped, I'm going to wipe off my brush completely, and I'm going to begin smoking this color. Using a Morphe 321 brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit of Interlude, and I'm going to just begin smoking out the lash line. One thing I love about this brush is that the bristles aren't super hard or stiff. I noticed that some of my other pencil brush are really harsh on the lower lash line, and they kind of hurt. The bristles on this are super soft, making it really comfortable to wipe back and forth to get a really blown out smoky look. Now that my lower lash line is all the way smoked out, what I really want to do is I want to bring that black on the very lower lash line, but keep it towards the outer edge just to pinch my eye a little bit and give it more of that kind of cat eye effect. So I'm gonna go in with the shade called Leotards from the Bad Habit palette. I'm gonna take it on a flat definer brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp it right towards the outer part of my eye. Now before I start going in and blending things out like crazy, I am just going to apply a little bit of loose powder directly underneath my eye to catch any of the black eyeshadow. Trust me when I tell you, if you get a little bit of black eyeshadow underneath your eyes and try to brush it away, it will stain your foundation. Trust me, I have learned from experience, so you definitely don't want that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take some of this loose powder and put it right here just to catch any fallout that may happen when I start buffing and blending the black eyeshadow. Just gonna go ahead and take a pencil brush and just buff out that black right here, and I am gonna bring it in a little bit, but not too far. I'm now gonna tightline with my Makeup Forever Aqua XL long wearing waterproof liner in the shade M10. This is super duper black, so I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna go ahead and tightline my upper waterline. I'm now gonna go in with my Sigma Wicked gel liner on a MAC 210 liner brush. I actually just got this not too long ago, and it has literally been changing my life. I'm actually going to take this gel liner and I'm going to put it in my lower waterline, and the reason I like to use this brush is because I can put it in my waterline in a precise way. I'm now going to go in with my Sigma waterline liner brush, which is the E17, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to press this right up against where I put the liner, like really close to the lash line, because I don't want any gaps between where I line my waterline and my lower lash line. Once that's done, I'm going to just wipe away the powder. You guys see how well translucent powder works. It works miracles. Miracles! Using a Morphe E36, I'm going to pick up a little bit of my MAC Nylon eyeshadow. You guys know this is like an oldie but a goodie, and she has officially made a comeback. So I'm going to go ahead and pop her right here in the very inner corner. I'm also going to take a little bit of that highlight color onto the highest point of my brow bone. And this is just going to help blend all the shadows together and give it a little bit more of like a seamless look. I'm going to go in with two mascaras. I absolutely love my Maybelline Big Shot Colossal. You guys know this. I'm also going to go in with a lower lash mascara. I have been loving this on my bottom lashes. This is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara, and I really love it because the wand is so tiny. Do you guys see how little it is? So it's really easy to get really up close on my bottom lashes. So one of the reasons I started to use two different mascaras, one for my top lashes and one for the bottom, is because whenever I would go in with my Big Shot Colossal on my bottom lashes, I would get mascara everywhere. So using a mascara with a smaller wand to it, I'm able to really get up close on those lashes without getting the mascara like everywhere. Now the mascara is done, I'm going to pop on lashes off camera. Today I'm going to use one of my favorite lashes at the moment, which is the Samantha Lash in the style Blinking Beauty. Then I'm going to gonna go in with a little bit more of the Collab Set the Stage setting powder, and I'm just gonna take this directly underneath my bronzer to kind of contour and chisel out the face a little bit. I'm gonna let that bake here for a little bit and go in with highlighter. I'm gonna use the Diorskin Nude Air Luminizer. Do y'all see how luxurious this is? I love her so much. I'm not gonna lie, she was a little bit pricey, but I can honestly justify the price point because she is luxurious on the skin. So I'm just going to apply it with a BH Cosmetics Pro 3 brush, and I'm actually gonna start right here at the highest point of my cheekbone, and I'm just gonna go ahead and brush the highlight on. Once I have majority of the highlight on, I'm just gonna sweep whatever's left onto the apples of my cheeks. Do you guys see this? It literally looks like I'm glowing from within. Like the highlighter melts into the skin so beautifully. Like I'm obsessed and I'm here for it. For blush, I'm gonna use the Wanted One Cheek Palette by NARS. It has 6 different blush shades in here, but I'm gonna mix this shade and this shade together. I'm just sandwiching it right between my highlighter and my bronzer. And then whatever's left, I'm just gonna brush it onto the apples of my cheeks. So now that I have my blush on, I'm just gonna wipe away all of my bake, and I'm just gonna use my big old powder brush by Sigma to do that. And for lips, I'm gonna use my Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Truffle. To finish things off, I'm just gonna spray a little bit of my Urban Decay Chill makeup setting spray. Woo! I just took a bath. And just like that, y'all, this is the completed look. I went ahead and did my hair, put on a jean jacket, tossed in some hoops because we all know hoops are trendy AF. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. It's definitely not meant to be a structured smoky eye. It's meant to be lived in. You can make it a little bit more messy than I did. Honestly, I'm a perfectionist, which is why mine's probably looks like really perfect, but do what you do. Tag me over on Instagram if you guys recreate this look. I have all of my social linked above, so be sure to check that out. And with that, guys, I don't think I have much else to say except I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.